Okay, today we'll talk about adding integers. If you remember from last time, integers are whole numbers and their opposites. Okay, we wrote this down the other day. Whole numbers and their opposites. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, that's whole numbers, and the opposites would be the negative. Now to help you, when adding integers, what you need to do is think of negative team. If you want to abbreviate, go ahead. And a positive team. There's a negative team and a positive team. And what you should be thinking about is two things. One, which team has the most, the positive or the negative? Which team has the most, the positive or the negative? And the other question is, by how many? Which team has the most and by how many? Okay, let's do a few examples here. I have -4 and -9. Now I'm going to ask myself two questions. Later you can do this in your head, but for now please write this down. It is, which team has the most, A, and B, by how many? Okay, so I'm looking over here, I have a -4 and a -9. So who has the most? Positive or negative? The positive does, right? What am I saying? Positive. It's the negative. I have -4 and -9. It's the negative. There's much more negative. It's all negative. Now, by how many? Well, I have -4 and -9. That would make 4 and 9 is 13. My answer is -13. -4 and -9 make -13. Let's try another one. How about -4 and 9? -4 and 9. Let's see, this is negative and this is positive. What do we have? Which team has the most? The negative or the positive? Well, there's more positive. So positive. And by how much? How much more positive is there than negative? Well, there's 5 more. Right? 9 take away 4 is 5. There's 5 more positive. My answer is positive 5. Okay, there's more positive than there is negative, and there's 5 more positive. The answer is positive 5. Here's another one, -4 and -3. Now what's different is, this time I separate it with parentheses, which is really actually easier than this. This is more confusing. The first one's more confusing than the second one here. Third one here. So let's see, I have a -4 and a -3. Which team has the most, the negatives or the positives? The negatives. I have both negatives here. And I probably should have used a different color. Okay, I have more negative. How many more negative do I have than positive? Well, it's all negatives. There's 7 more. And so my answer is -7. Okay, the next one. I have -7, a -3, and a 2. Okay, which team has the most, the negatives or the positives? Well, I have 10 of these, and I have only 2 of those positives. 10 negatives and 2 positives. So there's more negatives than anything. Matter of fact, so there's more negative. Okay, how many more are there? How many more than the positive? Let's see, there's 10 of these, and there's 2 of those. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So my answer is, -8. That's my answer. Because this is negative 10 and 2 makes negative 8. Okay, so when we have numbers with the same signs or numbers with different signs, there's two different rules. If they have the same sign, if numbers have the same sign, add them. If numbers have different signs, subtract them. Same signs add, different signs subtract. Okay, so those are our rules. If they're the same sign, add them, different signs subtract. Now I'm going to show you two of the same problems, but we'll do them different ways. It's the same problem. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that so you can see it. So we have negative 12, negative 6, 15, and negative 2. And then just put the same on the other side. Okay, I'm going to use order of operations on this left side. And I'll use a different method on the right side. Okay, so over here, negative 12 and negative 6, that makes negative, remember, they're the same sign. So I'm going to add them. 12 and 6 is 18. So that's negative 18. I'll bring the rest down. Next, I'll combine these two together. Now, these are different signs. If they're different, you must subtract. So if they're different, subtract them. Let's see, I have more negatives, so it's going to be negative. And 18 take away 15 is 3. So see, this right here is 3. Bring down the rest, plus negative 2. Okay, now, are these the same sign or are they different? They're the same sign. This is negative 3, and that's negative 2. Okay, think of that as an and. Negative 3 and negative 2. Well, they're the same sign. Add them together. 3 and 2 is 5. So they're both the same sign. Keep the sign negative, and there's 5 of them. Negative 5. Now let's go to the other side. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Now let's go to the other side and do it a different method. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the negatives on one side. All the negatives over here. And then all the positive numbers over here. So if I add all this up, 12, 6, because these are all the same signs, so just add them up. 12, 6, and 8. How much does that come out to be? That should come out to 20, right? This right here totals out to 20. So this is negative 20. And this over here is just 15. So negative 20 and 15. That's our totals. So how much is negative 20 and 15? These are different signs, so subtract. So they're different. There's more negative. There's definitely more negative. And how much more negative is there? There is 5 more negative. And there's your answer. Notice they are the same. So you can choose any method you want when you have several of them. I usually prefer this method. To me, this is fastest, the quickest, faster.